Hey, I'm Coach Mickey, and I'm so glad that you guys have joined us. And if this is your first time joining us, come on in and make yourself comfortable. For those of you that join us on a regular basis, I am so glad that you do. And thank you so much for reaching out to all of our guests. And I'm really excited that many of you support these people that have been on, whether it's their endeavors or their events or even some of their products that they have. So thank you so much. You guys are an awesome circle of friends. And don't forget, too, as on Mickey's inspiration wear and also for our coffee cups, you guys can get your own cup, and you know that all of those proceeds are going towards my Be Fearless scholarship that I'm going to give out to at the end of the year for a woman who deserves that, a young woman who deserves that's going away to school. Maybe multiple. If you guys really step up, we'll have more scholarships to give away. And as you guys can see on the other side of me, I am really excited to have her on. I have known this woman vicariously for many, many years, and I tell you how things come full circle. I am really excited to have her on my podcast. And for many of you that follow me, you probably already know who she is. But for those of you that don't, I'm going to read you a little bit about her bio. Laura Cain has served as a radio icon in San Diego for over 30 years. She's best known as a member of the Radio Hall of Fame inducted program from the Jeff and Jer Showgram. Laura got her start as an intern at KFMB during her senior year at San Diego State University. She gained a loyal following. Believe me, she has a great following, and following remarkably transparent on the air about sharing everything in her life, from birth, death, to rehab, to divorce, to surviving, and everything in between. I have followed her through the years, even in this next part. She has two kids, Charlie, who is 23, and her daughter, Evan, who is attending university in New York City. And the fun facts about Laura is she was co-hosted live on Regis in New York City. She won a trip to France on The Price is Right. And she is 6 years sober. And I'm going to throw in a couple other things that I do know about you, Laura. I knew you were a sit-in at the Academy Awards because I saw you on the Academy Awards and
That's
recognized
right.
you.
I forgot to put that in my bio. I gotta put that in my bio.
So anyway, without further ado, thank you for being with me today. How are you?
Hi, I'm so honored to be on your podcast, Mickey, because you and I have worked together throughout the years in different ways. But I remember when I was on a radio show, just like you mentioned, Jeff and Jer, I would have a slumber party and you would come and teach us all self-defense. And that was the one thing I really looked forward to the most was you being up there on stage with me, showing women how to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
I will never forget that. I really, really, you're so awesome.
Oh, it was so much fun going too and having an opportunity to be there and do that. But also, I want to mention to everybody who is watching, please take a look in Laura's background because she is
Oh,
also the host of Laura Cain After Dark. And I highly recommend you guys are going to have all those links, into the bottom of the YouTube video too, so you can reach out to her. But a couple things I want to touch on, and I know this is very, very dear to you, and I kind of followed your story. I mean, through all these years, like I said, we've kind of known each other vicariously and then getting to meet each other. But I was kind of, listening to you on the radio. And first of all, congratulations, 16 years of being sober. That's a huge accomplishment. And I
thank
know
you.
that is a journey every single day.
Oh my gosh. Every day. What, like they say, as cliche as it sounds, it's so true. One day at a time.
Yeah,
With anything, really, if you think about it.
that's
You
true.
know,
That,
if
that
you're
is,
stressed, just one day at a time. Just take it one day. That's all we have,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And it's hard because especially for someone like you that has, I know you've gone through so many different things through your life. I mean, like I said, because I've listened to you for so long, I know the journey that you've gone through, whether it's been through your divorce. I mean, I knew when you were pregnant with Evan, so I mean, I know your whole story. You've always put yourself out there, and just telling you as a listener, even prior to knowing you, the strength and the inspiration that you offered through all the struggles, always came through the airwaves. And I think for especially a radio host, because you never really know whose lives you're touching. But I know for a fact, Laura, you have touched so many people's lives just with what you've gone through and what you've done.
Well, thank you so much for saying that because I remember when it all went down 16 years ago, I was heavily drinking, I was heavily using, and I remember going to rehab, obviously, for 3 months. And they told people while I was on the air that I was dealing with family issues because they wanted to keep it private. But I knew in my heart, I'm like, okay, I either have to tell exactly where I was, what happened, what it's like, and what it's like now, or I have to just be quiet about it. Or I didn't know how people were going to react. I didn't know if they were going to hate me, if they were going to support me, if I was going to be honest. And so I just decided, you know what? Truth is always the best thing. So I just laid it all out in a letter I read when I got back. And oh my God, the feedback. Because I'm telling you, this disease does not discriminate. We're talking, principals of schools, doctors, we're talking lawyers, PTA moms. It's not just people that you see on the street drinking out of a paper bag. I mean, it affects every family. Alcoholism does, and use and addiction. So I there's been many people that have reached out because I've been so open about it. I was blessed to have a platform, and I am now blessed to have a platform to help others. In fact, there's a woman who reached out to me. She was 1 day sober. This was 36 days ago. So she's doing great. And
Wow.
so I mean, I'm like, you know what? If I have a purpose in this life, I think my purpose is this. It's to tell people, you don't be ashamed because you are a certain somebody or you have a certain title, but you're struggling. It happens. It does not discriminate, and there's help. You just have to reach out, and people are so much more supportive than you would ever imagine. They really, truly are. I don't remember anyone saying anything negative at all. Nothing but support. And San Diego in particular is such a loving city, I feel. I think we have a lot of support around us. And now, luckily, because of our podcast, hopefully around the world,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've always done that. I mean, even over the years, just listening to you and watching also now your Laura Cain After Dark, you've got this charisma about you that, like you said, gives people an opportunity to connect, like you said, and that's personal stuff, especially going through what the journeys that you've gone through. I mean, whether it's like you said, getting sober or things that have happened through your divorce, and I know, other things that you've gone through, but to make yourself transparent and say, look, this is me, this is who I am, and people can identify with that because they don't feel alone. And so many people struggle in silence. And just to know there's one more person out there that might be going through the exact same thing is so comforting. It
we
really
are
is.
there's a saying, we are as sick as our secrets.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And that makes such sense to me, because you have a secret. It could even be a hidden resentment that you have that makes you want to drink over it,
Yeah.
So, it's worth it. It's on. People come to me or to whoever when they've hit their bottom, whatever their bottom is.
Mhm.
But until that person reaches that point of like, oh my God, I surrender, I need to give this up, then, you kind of have to sit and wait, for them to come to that point.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, tough.
But when they do, though, I mean, the good on the bright side of that is when they do come to that point and they are at the point, there's a saying I'd heard. It's like when you hit rock bottom, now it's your opportunity to become rock solid. You
Rock
know?
solid and rocket upward.
Yeah.
Totally. I
Yeah.
love that. That
Yeah.
is so true. Okay, so there's a woman, and she has given me permission to say her name because
Okay.
she's very proud of her now 38 days, I think.
It's
This
awesome.
is the woman I told you. She messaged me and sent me a picture of herself at day 1 sober. Um, Kind of dark, a little bit of dark circles, little sallow looking. Obviously she wasn't in her best spirits.
Right.
Throughout the days, she would send me a picture of herself. And each day her skin would get clearer, her eyes looked brighter, her hair looked shinier. It's like a miracle. When you do not put that substance in your body after having done it for so long, your body just reacts so positively in so many ways.
Well, it's
So
also
worth it.
how you feel too inside. I mean, that's a major accomplishment. I mean, you start to thrive, you start to grow, and knowing that somebody's behind, how wonderful though, the fact that you were there to be there and be that support for her because you've been through it yourself. I always say we don't really know what somebody's going through. We can only understand what somebody's going through, but just having that understanding alone is so powerful. Like I said, you don't want to suffer in silence. You want to know you've got somebody there in your corner. Yeah.
And alcoholics stay well when we help another alcoholic. So
Nice.
that's how we continue to recover as well. So it's just
Wow.
it's a giving kind of program thing. And I think that I just feel like everybody should go through a program like AA or the 12 steps, because it just helps you be a better human being and how to
Yeah.
deal with stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, anything that's going to help you grow and be a better individual, why not? Right. I
Right.
mean, you don't have to put a tag on I'm this, I mean, but it's you have anything that's going to help you. Plus, not only that, maybe people would understand, like you said, if they've got this idea that be an alcoholic is drinking out of a paper bag. No, these are people that are in professional lifestyles. And if everybody went there or even looked into that program, I think people would be a little bit more compassionate when people start to say, hey, listen, I'm recovering, I'm doing this, and have that opportunity to be there more of a support, I guess.
Yes. That's what I've noticed about this community. It's very supportive once you become a part of it.
Nice.
For sure. For
Well,
sure.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. You had told me earlier that you were all about manifesting and doing some really cool stuff. So I'm gonna hit you up on that one. And again, we're friends just here talking, so we're just kind
Oh
of
my
hanging
God.
out.
Okay. So I'm not kidding. For the last, I want to say 6 weeks, every night as I'm falling asleep, on YouTube, I'll find sleep meditation manifestation. And it's just somebody talking in your ear, and it's supposed to go to your subconscious, and your subconscious mind is supposed to, help with all this manifesting stuff. And I'm like, why not? Why not just give it a try? Right.
Right, right.
So 3 weeks ago, my daughter and I realized that we were about $27,000 short of sending her back to college.
Okay.
This 3 weeks ago. And a series of events, like I said, I'm very transparent. There's a lot of things that I'm currently dealing with. And I cannot take on that kind of loan at this point. So we were trying to make other plans, or she was going, well, maybe mom, I can do this. And it was killing me inside. So I thought,
Yeah.
you know what? Look, I'm just going to think really hard. I'm going to visualize her there in her dorm at school. And what I'm going to do is put in some work and then let the universe handle it. So what I did was I sent an email to the president of the school, the financial aid office, and the president of the theater department, describing my circumstances, how I'm dealing. I'm paying for this alone. Dad's not in the picture. That I have a bankruptcy on my account, so I can't get a loan. My credit score is not good because of mistakes made in the past.
We all do.
I'm
We all do.
embarrassed to say that. I'm ashamed to say this as a woman at my age. I feel like I've let my daughter down, to be quite honest. And then I said, this university, which is Fordham, has changed my daughter in such a profound and wonderful way. Her dropping out once, it just kills me inside. Anyway, so that was the letter. I didn't hear anything back until I got a message from the theater department person. And she was like, oh my gosh, we loved Evan in class. She was like sunshine personified. I will be her advocate. I didn't know what that meant. So 2 weeks ago, we get an email, new financial aid package. The new package, now our only cost was $1,000.
Oh my gosh, Laura.
I'm like, okay. I was shaking. I'm like, this cannot are we looking at this correctly? They gave her some kind of fund for students that were like Evan, and then we had one more obstacle. She was 25th on the list, on the waiting list to get housing. And we're like, okay, maybe you can commute from this person's house, and we're trying to figure it out. We get a phone call. Is this Evan Cain? Yes, we have housing for you. We opened up the graduate housing, undergraduate house. Anyway, we opened something up, and she has housing and an apartment, and it has a kitchen, and it just fell into our lap.
Wow.
And I truly believe, like, just visualizing, doing some work, and then let it just fall into place the way it's supposed to. It will, how it's supposed to. And now she has just decorated her own little dormy apartment. She's so happy. She just started school. She's like got a load. I had to buy her a printer because she has so much to print out, so much reading to do. But she is thrilled, and she's more grateful, I think, than any other student that is at that school, because she knows how hard we worked to get her back there. And so she appreciates absolutely every element of that school and that experience because of it.
Wow.
Wow.
I love stories like this. I love this. I mean, this just, it definitely goes, oh my gosh, you hear it, you know how to do it, and then all of a sudden you see it truly happen for somebody. And it's just like, you're giving me goosebumps, because it's like, I'm so excited to have something amazing like that happen for you. That's great, Laura.
It's a miracle. I mean, they say miracles happen. Miracles can happen if you keep an attitude positive, and especially important, the most important thing from all these videos that I've been listening to for 6 weeks is live constantly with a grateful heart. Be grateful for I'm grateful every night for this roof over my house. I live in a duplex. I've been here 10 years. It's not, it's not the newest place in the world, but I am so grateful that I live here. I'm so grateful that I woke up in the morning. I'm so grateful my son and my daughter are healthy. Yeah. Like you just got to live with a grateful heart, and good things will keep coming. They will.
Yeah, you're right. And gratitude is huge. I mean, there's always something to be grateful for. Always, and some people say, well, no, you can find, you're up, you're breathing, you're alive, there's always something to be grateful for, and it is the most powerful thing you can do in your life. You're absolutely right. I had to learn that one too. It's just, even when things are just going so haywire, being grateful, it just has that magic spark that just opens up so many other things in your life. You are absolutely right on that one.
Sure does. And so if you live in a constant state of that kind of attitude, then magical things happen. They really do. Throw it out there, as crazy as it sounds. The sky's the limit, really.
Yeah.
You only set your own limits.
No, you're right. And people are afraid because they get so wrapped up in either opinions or whether people are thinking, instead of or thinking, for themselves, oh, that doesn't happen for me. Yes, it can. There's no reason why it couldn't happen for you. None at all.
Exactly. No more fear. We're not gonna have any more fear.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what? I'm gonna write the president of the university. I'm not gonna be scared. You know what? I wrote my boss the other day if I could have a raise, because I deserve one. Because you know what? I don't have any fear. He said no. but you know what? Whatever. I asked, and that was, I'm not scared anymore. I'm trying not to live like have fear in my heart. I'm just trying to be as strong as possible.
I think there's also too, when you live your life being fearless, you're right. It's like, what's the worst thing they're going to say? No, or it's not going to happen, or it's not the right timing. Just because it's not the right timing doesn't mean it can't happen later on down the road. I mean, my gosh, you never know unless you ask. That's what I've learned. That I was like, what am I afraid of? If you say no to me, okay, it's not the end of the world.
it's not the end of the world. Nobody has died, and it's just a rejection. And you know what? That's part of life. Don't make it a bad thing. Just turn it into a good thing. Like, okay, well, maybe something better is coming for me. Maybe, maybe another job is going to fall into my lap. You just never know. You never know, but everything happens for a reason. I totally believe that too.
Yeah, no, I do too. And the other thing I've learned, what you said is, even though it's a rejection, a lot of times I think these choices that are made by other people, they're not rejecting you personally. They're rejecting on their own beliefs or what their own issues are or whatever's going on in their life. Because I've learned that too, because it's like, what do you reject? I'm offering everything you possibly can want. So, and if you're telling me no, I'm not taking it personal. It means either your timing's not right, something's going on with you, or you're not seeing the same thing I am. So maybe we're not a good fit to begin with anyway,
That is a good point. You don't know what people are dealing with.
Right.
They might be dealing with something so hard at home, and we have no idea.
True.
So you also have to just be compassionate as possible, I think, to everyone, that you see on the street, someone who smirks at you. Maybe it's not about you, maybe it's not about you at all. He just had a sour look on his face. I like that book. Now I'm not going to remember the four, but have you heard of the book, The Four Agreements?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to try to remember the four agreements. One of them is never make assumptions, which is perfect because, half the time it's not about you
Right.
at all.
What is that about? What assumption? Assumption is when you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I remember hearing that when I was young and thinking, God, that is so clever. Okay. And be true to your word is another one. Do not take things personally. That is a huge one.
Yeah.
Because just like you were saying, this person it's not about you at all. It's completely about them and what's going on with them. So don't take it personally, don't let it hurt your heart. And then I forgot the other one, but it's a really dang it, I'm going to kick myself later, but it's a really great book. It's called The Four Agreements. And it's just another way to live life happier and better.
I mean, everybody's going through something, and life is a journey to begin with. It's what do you decide to do with it is really up to you, is how you deal with it. It really is. I look at that every single day. I look back on some of the stuff, that I've been through or what I've done, and I'm like, you know what? Is this going to really matter? I always think, is this going to matter 6 months from now? Is this going to matter a year from now? Is this going to matter 5 years from now? Because if it's not, then how much time do I want to waste on it now? I really want to get over it because I don't want it allowed to consume me and take up so much of my time when I know that a year from now it's really not going to matter.
Yeah, that reminds me of another saying that I'm probably going to say wrong. Like, you drink the poison hoping to kill the other person or something, but you're actually poisoning yourself. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, it's
completely wrong.
Yeah, no, it's well, you're on the right track. It was resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
Oh, okay. I'm so bad at those things.
You just paraphrased.
Yeah, exactly. I made it my own.
It's a Lauraism.
True. Totally.
Well, I want to we got a few more minutes, but I want to give a shout out. Please go to YouTube channel. It's also going to be in the description to Laura Cain After Dark. And you're on the radio now, aren't you? Aren't you on some of the shows at the moment down in San Diego?
Yes, I do traffic part-time. So you might hear me doing traffic reports on any of the stations in San Diego. Just depends on the day. And I'm on the weekends, I do Star 94.1. I'm on like the DJ, like in the night at night and in the early morning. So you can hear Star 94.1. And then my podcast is me and my best friend Eric, and he's hysterical. And we talk about, our lives, like my dating life, which is pretty much non-existent at this point. We have a producer who could be my child because he's 23 years old, but he acts like he's 45 and he teases me all the time, and it's really funny. And together we laugh, we do celebrity gossip, we try products, we interview interesting people too. I really love our interviews. I in fact, there's somebody that's incredibly interesting, and I can't even wait for her to be on the podcast. And it's going to be on September 25th. We live stream on Instagram and YouTube. This person is going to blow up Laura Cain After Dark. And her name is Coach Mickey.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
You were so, I know, I cannot wait to be on your podcast. I'm looking forward to it. It really is. It's funny. You were saying about manifesting and putting things out there. All these years that I've connected with you and heard you, and now here we are doing stuff together. And I've always thought, my gosh, why not? Who knows? You never know. So how fun is that?
It is really cool. And I'm
Yeah.
really proud of you for everything that you have accomplished, because I know how hard you have worked. You hustle, and I love it. You really do. And
Yeah.
it's paid off.
Yeah, that's what though, just surround yourself with good people, keep doing like you said, what you believe in,
Right.
see it, believe it, and just don't, my dad always says, sometimes you just gotta blow through an obstacle with dynamite. You don't let it get to you. You just go around it, go over it, go through it, blow it up if you have to, but don't allow an obstacle to take away what you really, really want to do.
I love that. Blow it away with dynamite.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't even say that one right, but I know. But I love that. That's really cool. It's so true. It's so true.
Well, thank you so much for being with me today. I've always had so much fun with you, whether it's at a pajama party or just hanging out like this. You are so much fun. So much fun.
I can't wait to have you over here. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm very honored.
Yeah. Well, my pleasure. The pleasure's all mine. I'm glad you took the
Thank
time.
you.
Guys, please reach out to Laura, please. You guys will love her, Laura Cain After Dark. It is so much fun. It is unfiltered, so I will tell that some of the people that in it is, but it's fun. It's spicy and fun.
It's after dark.
That's right. I love you, girlfriend. Thank you so much for being with me. I can't wait to be with you at the end of the month.
Love you too so much. Can't wait to see you, and thank you. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.